So here it is, 18th podcast, and befitting of an all-star weekend podcast is our all-star podcast crew of myself and, of course, Tyler and Chris. Of course, it's the all-star crew of podcasts in this league, at least.
I mean, I feel like we're the only ones.
Yeah, unless the all-star podcast I want to hear is a JB Koo mashup. That would be great.
Oh man, that would be. It's like one guy would not stop talking, and the other guy would just be like, "Oh, okay."
I'm pissed that Magoo quit the league because I wanted to hear a nice Magus JB Koo podcast. I think.
Yeah, that would have been maybe like throwing like GBB or whatever. That'd be great.
GBB could. I want to hear a GBB droppy podcast where they just try and out rap each other the whole time.
Yeah, I would not listen to that one.
They would drop the sickest rhymes. In this podcast, we're going to cover the All-Star Weekend. Obviously, it just passed. It's everyone's favorite time of the year that ultimately doesn't judge who's the best players in the league. We're not just going to cover that. We're going to have, since we've gone through half of the year, we're going to have our surprise teams, pleasant surprises, our not-so-pleasant surprises, trade deadline things that people should be doing, previews, yes.
Yeah.
And other fun shenanigans, knocking over microphones and water bottles.
Never happened.
I don't even know what you're talking about. So we're gonna start off the All-Star Weekend. I don't know what the 3-point contest and the dunk contest were. I know people really need to know updates on that.
Wasn't the winners for that one Philip Paulino and Anti? I think.
Yes. That's about all you need to say.
Joe Brake got snubbed on the 3-point contest. Polo loaded his basketballs with rocks and shit.
He won on the scorecards, if you ask me. He had better style points.
That's all I'm saying. Whatever.
Very swag about him. Okay, so let's talk about the actual players in the All-Star game. And I think for me, I'm sure I speak for most people, the big surprise for me was the West that neither Spurs center got in.
Yeah,
that was an outrage, really.
Yeah.
I mean, most people predicted both of them would get in, and then somehow, just nothing.
Well,
I'm not so upset about the guy I can never say, Richard Disasare. I'm not so upset about him, but Dick Johnson is playing out of his mind right now. How did he not get one of the center spots? Is baffling to me.
I think FBB does the thing that I do, where they overvalue handling for centers. Because if you look at Wong Kun, he's got very low turnovers per game, whereas Dick Johnson is averaging 2.3, which is more than some point guards in the league now.
That's such bullshit, though.
I'm not disagreeing that it's bullshit. I'm just trying to defend the logic that was.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it was even just the field goal percentages, which would explain why Neo is there. But I mean, the Caesar and Big Dick Johnson there are both shooting great. They both have great field goal percentages, so it can't even be that.
I think Song Nu made it because of his blocks per game, which is understandable. He's averaging 15 and 11, so it's tough to really hate on that one.
Yeah, I'm not really upset about Song Nu making it.
Yeah,
I think he's doing well.
It's just I don't know. I don't know.
But
I don't know.
Wong Kun is over Dick Johnson makes no sense. Even with the handling thing is probably correct, but it's still stupid.
I would agree.
I think Portland's like bribing people to get their big men in. That's why that other guy, Chris Brown, used to make it.
Chris Brown, yeah.
I think they just bribe people to get one big man in every All-Star game.
I like Chris Brown. Generally, though, when Chris Brown made it, there wasn't too many other deserving candidates. I can't remember a time where we were really outraged about Chris Brown making it.
Yeah, I agree with you. The power forwards are pretty weak that year in the West, I remember.
Yeah, so, and Chris Brown, honestly, isn't that bad. Wong Kun, though, is just, I don't know.
Do you guys see any other huge snubs or surprises in the West? I really don't see any in the West.
Scott Singley kind of surprises me.
You moved on to the East. I'm talking about the West, Taj. Come on.
Oh, in the West. No, the West is, I can't see any real arguments.
You skipped me over, Hajj. What are you doing? Come on.
Yeah, maybe Tyree ahead of Vega, but not even because they've been playing.
No. I knew Vega was going to make it because he's just more all-around shooting guard than Tyree.
And I guess maybe Eric Beck, because
don't start.
He played more games, so that's why he should make
over
it
who?
Than Scott Duncan.
Oh, well.
No, Scott Duncan's not even eligible. I don't think he didn't play enough games.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's why he didn't make it, because Duncan he played 20 games. You know,
Even then, Beck's averaging 27-9.
But come on, he would have made it. He would have made it.
Duncan's getting 39. I
don't know if if Dick Johnson didn't make it in because of his turnovers, like we'd think, Scott Duncan's 4 might have played a little bit of a part in that too.
He made it last year. He was averaging 3.9, so I don't think it's a big deal with him.
I'm just saying Eric Beck is where it's at. So.
Oh no, I don't think it's like, oh, he shouldn't have made it. There's guys that should have made it. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head that should have made it ahead of him.
But that is reigning player of the month, Eric Beck, too. Get that right.
Yes.
Of the month.
Player of the month.
Player of our hearts.
And player of my heart.
Hajj was touching on this a little bit. In the East, the biggest snubs and surprises. Hajj, continue.
Yeah. So I'll start. Scott Stingley obviously surprises me, even though I was hyping his praises. I guess it doesn't really surprise me, because now that I look at his numbers, he's getting 27.
He's
shooting
doing very
good.
well.
Yeah, he's got 4.5 assists actually, which is underrated aspect. So actually, he is playing really good. But I guess it's more surprising in that most people, not so much me, but I mean, even I'm surprised by how he's playing this year, and I'm sure most people are surprised that he's playing at such a high level.
Yeah, I mean, he's having a good year this year, and not only that, I can't really think of anyone else who probably would have made it. Who?
Joe Pickens. Pretty easy decision there, I think.
Yeah. Let me compare.
Yeah, that's true. Joe Pickens, he's got better stats all over, even though his team isn't playing as good.
The handling thing is a factor there. Like, Stingley's better in handling, and that's about it this year from Pickens.
Yeah, I don't know. I think record might come into play.
Yeah, I agree.
A tad bit.
I think record does matter because the Pacers got 3 people, and they're the top team in the Central.
Yeah, and then Stingley. Actually, you know what? Stingley and Pickens aren't too different this year. Pickens is scoring a little bit more, but Stingley's doing just about everything else better. So.
But Pickens is shooting really good too, though. He's got better percentages.
Yeah, but Stingley's not shooting bad. That's all. I mean.
No, I don't know.
I take 45%. But then again, I have Mason Frederick. I'd take 40% at this point. So
Mason, our first Mason Frederick mention as a podcast.
There'll be a few.
He's shooting good from 3 at least, Mason Frederick. So got that going for him.
Shooting good from fucking stupid land. I don't know.
Stupid land. So I guess everyone else. I mean, if you can argue better people than like Philip Paulino and Pierre Lewis, I really would like to hear it.
Yeah, I would do.
There's nobody even close to that.
And then
I'm a little surprised that Henry Moore, the Knicks, didn't make it. Steven Marino of the Hornets made it over him.
Yeah, that surprised me some too.
Yeah,
I haven't really looked at Marino this much though. Too much this year.
Mainly, but I feel like Marino is more because he has to do more for his team than Moore. I'm saying Moore a lot, but that's because that's his name. But Marino's got about the same assists. I mean, he doesn't have as many assists, but he still has low turnovers, and he's scoring a lot more, and he's a bigger part in some ways than Moore is.
But the Knicks are the best team in the East, and Moore is averaging over 11 assists a game as second in the league. I think I'm just shocked that he didn't make it. I thought he was going to start potentially. I'm shocked that he didn't make it.
I am surprised about that too. I mean, I don't think Marino's a bad candidate, but Moore,
not at all.
I think Moore probably should have gotten in before him.
Yeah, and I guess on power forward, I mean, obviously Page is a no-brainer to go in at this point. And, I mean, Sun Ma he's played pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, but I feel like there must be someone else.
I don't know. Sun Ma's got 4 blocks a game right now.
Yeah, Sun Ma is deserving. Yeah. I have one thing to say going back to the Marino thing to defend my one of my favorite GMs, Devonta. He remember all the slack he got for picking Marino over Pickens, and now look at it. It's looking pretty promising for him.
Yeah,
so he deserves a lot of credit for picking Marino over Pickens.
I would agree. Wow. I don't think I was one of the ones that flame based him too much for that.
Everyone did, but me basically. I think maybe not you.
There's no way I would have gave him shit for picking a point guard ahead of anybody in a draft.
Everyone hated on him for not picking Joe Pickens. So everyone.
Well, yeah. I mean, Pickens is still great though.
Yes, but Marino is leading the Hornets to like one of the best records in the East right now.
He's got way better pieces around him than Pickens.
Well,
I mean, if you switch those teams, I'm pretty sure Devonta could have found another point guard.
Yeah, I want to talk. I want to talk a little bit about the Hornets later, but I mean, well, actually, no, I don't. I was going to say
They'll come up at some
Will
point.
they? All right, fine. All right. I'll hold.
Oh, go ahead, though. Go ahead.
I'm done. I'm done. Fuck you. I'm done.
Let's segue that into our next topic
Right.
of biggest surprises in the league through one half of the season. What do you guys think?
I think Tyler can go first because he's pretty hyped about it. So.
Oh yeah, I'm super hyped. I'm not gonna pick the Hornets though because fuck this. My biggest surprise, and it seems like every year I'm either picking them as a surprise or a disappointment, and it just rotates constantly. I gotta go with the New Jersey Nets. Listen, I think when we started our preseason podcast, I think, who was it that was really high on the Nets? Was it Hajj?
I think it was Hajj, yes.
Yeah, well, I liked them more than I did in the past because they added Falk, which I thought was a big.
I had them top 4 in the playoffs, I think. So maybe
I hated them. I mean, I still am not a huge fan because I'm sticking to my initial. I can't flip flop too much here, but
yeah,
it really surprised me that they're 24-11 right now. I am honestly shocked by this. Seifert is still playing not good. Jerome Berry isn't great on defense. But Francisco Page is just playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah,
I mean.
He is. He's playing.
He is amazing.
He is just absolutely destroying everyone in this league. 23, 14, and almost 4 blocks a game on 51% field goal percentage.
Yeah, even his free throws are good this year. I mean, he's still better than. Well, I guess they're about average, but
those are some Derek Favors type numbers right there. I can't, and 1.2 steals per game on top of it. Normally, big men don't do too great on steals, and if they do, they're low on blocks. He's really trying to get away from that whole stereotype that we had built up for him of not being able to lead a team to the playoffs, because he's almost doing it single-handedly at this point. Yeah. I mean, Ross Falk is playing okay, and Barry's playing all right too, but it's mainly Page.
All you have to do is look at this past in the 2 boxes against Orlando. In the first game, he scored 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 blocks. And in the second game, he got 38 points, 11 rebounds, and just 1 block. But anyway, he carried the whole Nets team into those 2 wins on the road. That's just unbelievable. There's very few players in the league who can win a game single-handedly like that, and he won 2 of them against Orlando this time. He's just playing unbelievably right now.
Yeah, I just can't believe how well he's playing, and I think if they had a better point guard, this team would be battling for the Knicks right now on top of the East. I mean, Seifert's holding it together a little bit, but I still don't like him at all. So
they are battling with the Knicks. They're only 2 back, I think, right?
Yeah, they're two and a half. They're in the.
I guess, but I meant more like they would be on top and.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
All right.
I think Seifert is probably the weak spot for them right now.
Yes, I think that's an obvious one.
Just because his assists are so poor.
I think going from Sam Legg, who was just horrible, to Ross Falk was an underrated upgrade too. Even though Falk's kind of down a little bit this year, he's still playing 100 times better than Sam Legg did last year, and that's huge for Crimson.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm just not a huge Ross Falk fan, but I mean, when you're comparing him to Sam Legg, it's an obvious upgrade. So
yeah. So who's should you do your disappointment team, or should we just rotate around?
Rotate around.
Okay. Keep the surprises.
Well, you can go first, Chris. You can go first. Because I got a couple options.
I was going to take the Nets, so damn you, Tyler.
There's always pleasant surprises to pick from.
There's a few teams that I'm thinking of. I'm going to give a quick shout out to JB because he's 17-2 since making that trade. I don't know if it'll come up during this podcast, but he deserves a shout out for that.
Yeah.
Portland's playing amazing. But I'm going to pick a team I was really down on in the preseason after a bad training camp, which I'm looking back on and I'm really not knowing why I was doing that, but it's Indiana.
Yeah.
As my big surprise.
Yeah.
First of all, that's what I get for doubting the Viking, who is maybe I said in the chat today, maybe the best defender in the league, because he's gone from leading Detroit to the best defense in the league to leading Indiana to the best defense in the league with the whole new supporting cast. So yep. I think that shows who was the key in that Detroit defense all those years. And he's the best center in the East, maybe the best in the league at this point. And he's averaging 21 and 12 and 4 blocks a game, and he's shooting amazing. He's probably my favorite player in the league right now. And I think if this were real life, I think he would get some legit MVP discussion, but it's not, so well. And then Scott Singley, who there's been no bigger critic of him than me, but he's playing amazing this year, so you got to give him a lot of credit. But I can't say too much good about Scott Singley, or it'll pain me a lot. So, yeah. And then Lewis Rogers, I love Lewis Rogers as a rookie. That huge training camp he had has paid off huge, and his assist to turnover ratio is like 4-1 as a rookie. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And he traded for Aaron Harrison, who's just a great glue guy, great defender to put next to Rogers.
Yes, I love Aaron Harrison. So
he's got Sun Ma, who's just a great guy to put next to Elon to help the defense. Moran has done an amazing job rebuilding this team in basically 1 year. And the Pacers, they're going to win the Central unless the Hornets get hot. And I think they're going to be really, really dangerous in the East. I think they are one of the favorites in the East right now because of they got the best defense in the league. Then that translates well into the playoffs, and I see them going far in the playoffs right now.
I would agree, and I think their blocks per game is just an astounding stat. I mean, just between Landers, Ma, and Tryggvason, they have 9.5 just between those three combined. I mean, they're just swatting everything that comes into that lane, I
know that Mofo's not a big block guy, but I mean that has to be why their field goal percentage against is so low, because it's just you can't even go inside. You can't.
It's definitely a huge part of it.
Yeah, and
I mean that's like 18 points off the board almost of just blocks of a game.
And I think right now Kevin Farrell probably is one of the best backup point guards in the league too. I mean,
you and Kevin Farrell, man, you love that guy.
I really do.
Well, he's a good backup. I mean, I don't think many people would have said, I don't want this guy as a backup. You'd have to be just lying at that point.
He's
probably playing better. I think he's playing better off the bench than Buteau is right now.
Yeah, Buteau, I'm sad. Guys, I'm sad. I'm sad about Buteau.
He'll bounce back. He has up and down training camps all the time. He'll bounce back.
I know, but this year's
Farrell
really
hasn't missed a free throw all year either, so.
Right, yeah,
that's key.
Buteau's never had a year, even in his down training camps, he's never had a year as bad as this, though. Well, his second year maybe, but he was only playing like 17 minutes a game then, so I don't know. I'm just upset. I'm upset about it.
Well,
I think you'll get over
it. Your heart will go on. I guess for my surprise team, I'm gonna head out west for my pick, and I'm gonna pick the Denver Nuggets. I mean, I know they're a game below 500, but also they're a game below 500. So, I mean,
well said.
I mean, look, I know, but look, when you look at this team, I mean, just look at them. Just look at this team and tell me that this team would be competing for a playoff spot in the Western Conference right now. I mean, Vance Sipp has found like a time machine that brought him back to when he was actually like a good point guard. John Albee has played about what I probably expected. A bit less efficient than I would like from three. I thought he'd shoot a bit better, but he's still scoring 21 points a game, which is all I could ask. Obviously, Jay Rich Jr. is playing very good on offense. He gets a lot of blocks. He can rebound still, obviously.
His rebounding is getting a little bit better, though.
He is almost up to 10. I feel like his scoring's gone down as the years progressed, but his rebounding is climbed slightly. Yeah. And then obviously Scotty Edwards must be doing very good on the defensive side. But I mean, I don't know. They're starting Manuel Leclerc, and apparently Manclair apparently was the key to everything. I mean, I don't know. I can't even. That's why it's a surprise to me, because I can't even explain how this is working at all, even at minimum level that's working at.
I mean, it's kind of not anymore. I mean, they had a huge fallout last sim, and they're.
I think honestly, like even 22 wins now is more than I might have expected the whole year from this team.
It was for me.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree. I don't know.
I mean, I think even if they completely bottom out, I don't think they could even finish the worst record at this point. They've already pulled like too far ahead of Boston and Phoenix.
There's no doubt that Denver's a huge surprise through the first half of the season, though. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I would agree.
I can't believe it. I mean, my second one after that would have been like Minnesota, who's also surprises me they're above 500.
They kind of fall apart this end too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota.
It's a bit less surprising because they have like sort of a plan, sort of.
Yeah,
really.
I think they made a big mistake trading Devane for Lamberson. Devane really fit in with that team.
Yeah, Lamberson's sort of his only use on the team was scoring, and he can't really do it as good. So.
Yep.
Devane's underrated, I think, a little bit.
I would agree. I wanted to throw.
Big fan. I like him.
I want to throw a quick shout out over to Donor and the Warriors.
Yes.
I know none of us really covered him that much or at all, but they're 25-16.
Yeah, that was another team I was going to pick, but I actually thought they'd be good, so I didn't want to pick them as my surprise.
Right. Well, they got off to a slower start this year, I think. I think around Sem 2 they were 500-ish. I'm more impressed that Donor, held it together, didn't trade anyone away, didn't overreact, and this team looks pretty good. Yi-Wan is playing out of his mind for Yi-Wan's level.
How did Yi-Wan get so good the past 2 years?
I don't know. Yeah,
big mystery.
Sometimes it's just a late bloomer. He had some big years way earlier in his career, but
he never rebounded in like this though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
he's one of the best rebounders in the league.
Yeah, he had like that 1 year. Like he's got 1 year here in like 2023 where he got like 11 rebounds. But
11. He's at 13 right now. It's just insane the way.
They have a very good offense. So.
And I'm also very impressed with Karan right now for holding it together and raising his field goal percentage after last year. He was awful.
He is allergic to passing the ball now, though, Curran.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing that they have McAvoy averaging 11.2 assists per game. So
McAvoy's playing great. He's like at an MVP level almost.
He really is. And then
got so many assists and he's shooting. He's always shot like great percentages. So I wasn't worried about when I traded him.
Yeah, so I just big props to Donor right now, and
it's a bunch of guys that like everybody knew they could play this good. Those players, and everyone was so worried about what would happen after TC, but
they survived it.
Obviously they came out pretty fine because they're playing great.
Yeah,
the one thing with old players though is injuries, and he just had two pretty big injuries this past him. McAvoy went down for 12 days and Curran 9, and now. Yeah, he was real pissed about that, but injuries are going to happen with the team this old. That's just inevitable, and he's got a decent bench to deal with it.
Yeah,
but not a
like
great
Ron Washington's like he's pretty solid. So
he could hold it together for a sim or so. Well, not a sim, but a few days.
Still can at least play defense, but
like he's way more likely than other teams to have an injury in the playoffs or like the final sim or something like that. It's a worry.
I would agree. I don't know. Hopefully.
All right, moving on to the biggest disappointments. Let's let Hajj go first here because he went last.
I'll go first. It's hard to pick. I don't like picking disappointments because they make me sad. It makes me sad to pick disappointments. I hate.
I only see 3 teams that are really disappointing right now. So I see 4. I see 4.
No. Okay. I'll
keep in mind if you pick Toronto, they just had 2 really huge injuries.
I'm not picking.
Yeah.
Toronto.
I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware.
They're 2 most important players the whole year, and they're still like not even really that far out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick the Utah Jazz.
Yep.
They got like really big hype. I'm not saying I didn't hype them either. they looked really good heading into this season. They just came off a huge upset in the playoffs. They upset Oklahoma City. They added Gary Hamilton. They have Bill Ross and then this is what happened. They're 30-24, and I don't know. It's hard to explain. They have no power forward, which obviously doesn't help.
Not at all.
I don't think any of their power forwards are deserving to start, and some of them would be pretty mediocre backups. Bill Ross is sort of just petered.
He had a long injury. Bill Ross, keep that in mind.
Yeah, well, that's true. And Bill Luck is kind of like disappointing me. Like some people will be like, "Oh, he's still playing good," but I have pretty high expectations for Bill Luck because I've seen what he can do when he's actually made an option and given like a shot. And this is a guy that I feel like should be getting like 17, 11 a game.
Well, isn't Rocket running an outside offense?
Is he? I'm not sure.
Maybe.
And I think another big factor is Gary Hamilton looks less and less like a point guard and more.
He looks awful.
He just looks like Allen Iverson with even less passing.
You know what the thing is? The thing was with Hamilton. I didn't want to mention it because I didn't want. I mean, it was a small sample size. But after his MVP year with the Rockets, he went down and outside shooting, and ever since then, he's never been the same player. He just doesn't score at the same level ever since that training camp.
Yeah.
To Hamilton?
Yeah, he was A outside and during his MVP year, and then after that, he went down in training camp, and he hasn't been the same player.
Yeah. Well, I
don't know. I mean, he only dropped from 31 to 27. I mean, his scoring.
He went from 32 points to 20. He dropped almost 5 points a game.
Well, yeah, but no, I would never expect him to keep up 32 points per game. You know, but
that's the type of player he was. So that's why he was the MVP that year. He was amazing, and then he dropped in training camp.
Well, I just want to point out that I think his scoring isn't as much of an issue as his just awful handling at this point. 7.4 assists per game to 3.3 turnovers per game. That's abysmal.
His handling before, it didn't bother me because he still had a nice ratio, but now it's just bad. I mean, he's got a career high in turnovers, career low in a full season of actually playing at point guard in assists per game. He went from 8.9 to 7.4. I mean, that's a big drop. Because I don't even count last year because he bounced around so much.
What's your suggestion with Hamilton? Because we all know he drops a lot in points when he goes to shooting guard.
You need to move him to shooting guard. I don't care. The whole argument.
It does suck that he will score less, but I mean, he's just not a point guard anymore.
All right, let me just hear me out for 1 second. The whole argument before with Hamilton was he's a proven winner at point guard, and his points drop if you move him to shooting guard, and neither are it's a non-factor anymore. The Jazz are 13-24 with Hamilton starting a point guard right now. He's clearly no longer a real winner there. He has some decent talent around him, not 13-24 talent at least. And his assist to turnovers per game is hurting way more than a switch to shooting guard and a slight drop in points would do. I mean,
I have two things to say to that. One, look at their other point guards. They have absolutely nobody who could even come close to stepping in and starting. And two, I think Hamilton will drop to 22 to 23 points per game at shooting guard and probably 4 assists. So that's a lot of production lost at shooting guard. That's just my opinion. If he played a full season there.
Well, but the production lost. I mean, if you got a point guard in there who was good with assists, and trust me, I am in no way endorsing any of these other point guards on Utah to start right now.
No, absolutely not. They are awful human beings.
I think Hamilton needs to be traded to a team who wants a shooting guard, and hopefully he can get some picks back or a point guard back. Something needs to be done here. Gary Hamilton cannot function as a point guard anymore. It's just not possible.
I guess I just think he doesn't have a position right now. He needs a training camp to go up and handling or up and outside again.
Then Hamilton needs to be used as a 6-man role. Those are your two options. He's not a point guard anymore. You either move him to shooting guard and take a slight dip in points, and hopefully you have talent around him to back up, or you move him as a 6-man.
You could try Bill Ross at point guard. I don't know, anything. So it's not working like this. This is not working.
Although Bill Ross does have somewhat similar stats as Eric Beck did before I moved him to point guard. So
I think he played point guard last year for his sim.
Oh, yeah, he did, and it did not work out well at all.
It didn't work. I might be wrong about that. I don't know. But
no, you're completely right. I remember that exactly.
All right. I think we spent enough time on the Jazz there, but now I'll go here with my most disappointing team. I think it would have to be, no offense, Tyler, but it's probably going to be the Kings.
I was hoping one of you two would do it, so I didn't have to.
I didn't want to be the guy to do that. So
I was going to if you guys didn't, so.
Yeah. Let's get the positives out of the way here with the Kings. Joe Break is awesome. His turnovers are a little higher than you'd like, but his production all around makes up for that. He's the best scorer in the league all of a sudden, and he's not the problem. He's the only thing keeping them even close to playoff contention. Well, and Eric Beck, the other positive. He just won Player of the Month. He's amazingly efficient for a point guard. He's just a great player. Moving him to point guard was Tyler's best move ever. No exaggeration there, because Beck is going to have a long career as a great starter. And now the negatives. Omar Thomas, while he had a good sim at power forward this past sim, he is fouling like a madman. Madman, whatever. He's still first in the league in fouls per game. He's obviously not playing good defense because look at their points allowed per game. And Like Lester Amato has really declined since the first sim when he had a huge sim. Mason Frederick, who, I mean, I think Tyler could, if you want to know about Mason Frederick, you just got to ask Tyler about him. He'll go on in like a 30-minute rant about him. And that, like, Lee Vito's good, but Bob Torgerson played way too much early in the season. Robert Bacon's okay. Warren Merchant's like desperation because he's not very good. It's just this team has a lot of letdowns, especially on defense. They need some changes, I think. Last year was a great season, but other than Breaking Beck, it's just been a mess this year. Omar has not worked out. He's been the biggest disappointment maybe in the league out of anyone this year.
Yep.
Omar.
I mean, I can't dispute anything you said there. The problem right now is Amato, honestly, was doing fine until I had to move him to center to get Omar's production up. The problem is both of those really can only play power forward, apparently. I mean, I don't have a center anymore, so
that's an issue.
It's a huge issue. I'm just trying to move Omar at this point. I don't even care what position I get back for him. I'm just trying to get some overall value. And I don't even know how to begin fixing my small forward issue. Maybe I might just cut Frederick at some point. So
wow.
I don't
trade him to me. I already offered to trade for him like 20 times.
Oh, that's true. But I already traded Rojas, so we'd have to.
I can figure something out.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I would just like to say I did make a great move in trading Beck for Frank Lloyd because he played great whenever Beck was hurt for a few games. So that's one.
Are you seriously gonna listen to offers for Eric Beck though?
Beck is now my hardest one to trade. I'd rather trade Joe Brake than Eric Beck because Beck is 7. I can build around him a little bit more.
Yeah, that's true.
So, whereas Brake, I'd be worried about him, falling off in the next 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah. Plus, his value is, I can't really think of a time where, I mean, it's hard to think his value will be much higher than right now, with getting 30 leading league in points and getting 7.5 rebounds a game and shooting great.
I'll tell you though, I've had my guys on the block for like 3 or 4 days, and I've even pitched around a few offers, and I have had like zero interest on everybody right now.
That's like just a league-wide. People seem to be pretty steadfast this year. Yeah.
I don't know.
Except for the big trade that we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah.
The trade 3 seasons in the making, or whatever you want to call it.
All right, Tyler, you're most
now you get to insult the team as your disappointments.
All right, who am I gonna?
There's only one left. We all know who it's gonna be. So.
No,
I don't know who it is. Who is it?
I've got 2.
Well, it's somebody in this chat, and it's not me.
No, I've got 2 left that are disappointments.
What?
Miami was the team I was trying to.
Oh, I forgot about Seth being here.
Yeah, Miami.
You can pick the other team. I don't know. I thought they would be my other pick.
Los Angeles, the Clippers were another one I was considering.
No, because they got Scott Duncan was hurt most of the season. You can't pick them.
I guess.
And Nate Stout, Anthem Craig, they were all hurt for.
No, yeah, because Nate Stout's so valuable.
Better than playing like Lee Chow or Otto Raymer or whatever.
Yeah, no, I strongly agree with that. Yeah, I gotta go with the Heat then. The Hawks were my other one because I built them up high early on this year, and then
let's talk for. I got a little something to say about the Hawks real quick. You're getting an MVP caliber performance out of Rodney Purvis this year. He's having one of his best seasons all around with his shooting. His shooting is ridiculous right now. His passing is
everything.
Like, his passing is amazing. His everything is amazing, and you are 18-29 with that performance. Yep. What the hell? You're starting Tony Deal. Tony Deal had a game last game where he shot 1 for 18. No joke.
Why is he even shooting that much? That's what I want to know.
Why is he playing at all?
None of their big men besides Diamond Stone have worked out at all for them.
My biggest thing was Remember Rob Fern? How we built him up in the preseason? He had a pretty damn good sim 1. He averaged like 15 and 10 and like it was 2 assists or something, and he got benched right after that for PJC again. And PJC continues.
I didn't even
continues to be a 6'1" small forward, and he's
I feel like.
Wait, PJC's back at small forward, not even shooting guard?
Yeah, he's been a small forward ever since.
What the fuck?
I feel like he's like I don't know if like he's got a man crush on PJC or if Diamond Stone slept with his wife. I don't understand why these guys are not playing. I don't understand.
What the fuck is going on?
Stone's been starting. He's doing pretty good, but he can't play big minutes because of his defense.
Well, here's what you need to do. You need to start Karl Towns, as much as it pains me. Start him at center. And then anyone else besides Tony Ellis or Tony Deal. Those two are probably the worst starters ever that you could possibly imagine a big man. I'd start Alexander Sigurvaldason before I would start Tony Deal.
If he went with a lineup of Purvis, Cool, Fern, Towns, and Stone, he probably would be in the playoffs.
I would keep Stone off the bench, but I would use him as a center and power forward backup. That way it hides his defense a little bit and his minutes.
You might as well use him as a small forward backup. They don't got nothing there anyways.
It's just ridiculous. Let's not talk about the Hawks anymore because WC's not even going to listen. He's just stubborn with his ways.
That's true. He'll probably...
Oh, and Bill Curran's playing good. That's all I know.
Yeah, Bill Curran. I think Bill Curran's a future superstar. I've been throwing that out there for a while.
Yeah, I'd agree, but he'll probably... I'm sure whenever Purvis retires, PJ C will start back at point guard, and then Bill Curran will be stuck behind. All right, so I got to talk about the disappointing Heat. I'm sorry, Seth. They did just make a big trade, so keep in mind that this is my evaluation before the trade was made, because obviously I have no way of knowing how this impacts them in the future. You know, it might make them worse. They could skyrocket and be the top seed in the East. I don't know. But as of right now, this team hasn't looked good. Larry Austin is playing okay-ish. His shooting percentages are worrying. He's got a low amount of assists per game. And his defense has always been a struggle for me, too. So, Larry Austin, not the worst starting point guard in the league, but I think he's getting less than what Seth imagined when he...
He's lost a lot.
Austin. Yeah.
He's lost a lot of talent.
Definitely. And then Kearney and Roser, they're just both completely opposite ends of the spectrum, because Roser's just still playing phenomenal. 27, almost 7 rebounds a game. His turnovers actually aren't terrible for someone who probably handles the ball as much as he does. And his field goal percentage is really good too. And then you move on to Sal. Sal, when I look at the starting lineup, honestly, going from Sal to Heron to Kearney to Roser to Austin, there wasn't one big, glaring hole that I saw. Because even Kearney, after last sim, he got back up to 46% shooting, 14 points a game, 7 rebounds a game. He honestly didn't look bad anymore. And then Heron, he's lost all offensive ability, but he was still averaging 13 rebounds a game and 3.4 blocks per game. The only weakness that I really see is Larry Austin being a little bit iffy, and then their bench. Their bench is fucking terrible. Brandon Roach and John Hansen are 2 awful backup point guards. Ramon Wright is below mediocre at best.
Yeah, that was a horrible trade. Trading a promising guy like Mourning for a scrub like Wright. I never liked that.
Yeah, it looked decent-ish at the time because of how bad Seth's bench was. But
Wright's numbers were so inflated by the horrible Cavs. It was just obvious he wasn't going to keep it up.
It was very short-sighted. I'll say that for sure. And then Bob Jacobs is a little bit disappointing in his rookie campaign, but he is a rookie, so
I figured out Bob Jacobs because Seth forgot to take Sal out of his lineup, and Jacobs started last time. He averaged I think it was 15 and 13 and 36 minutes a game, so that's pretty good.
Oh, well, that wasn't bad.
Yeah, and his shooting went way up. It was 36% to 40% now. He had a really good sim, Bob Jacobs, this past sim.
Well then, Bob Jacobs, keep on keeping on. I wonder how this trade, and we're talking about the Heat right now, so we got to talk about this trade a little bit. I'm wondering how everything's going to get impacted on here. I after seeing the lineup that Seth chose and what he's trying to do, I know he thinks this super inside offense is going to work, but I really don't like it at all.
I'm intrigued to see Sal at small forward because he goes up in defense as small forward, so.
That's the other thing. That's what I forgot to bring up when we were talking about the Kings. If I can't make a deal, I will probably be starting Omar Thomas at small forward next sim.
Wow. Really?
Get your deals in, folks.
His defense goes up, and he's not Mason Frederick. So.
Good. That's well said.
But back to the Heat. Sal at small forward intrigues me. And then I think he's starting. What is he going with? Sal, Heron.
I'd be going Freeman, Heron, Sal,
That's right, yeah.
Trammell, and then Austin, I would imagine.
I mean, it doesn't seem like a bad lineup on paper. Heron doesn't fit in at all because he can't score for shit, but
But he's a good defender still and rebounder.
yeah, I mean, true, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I've never really seen too much of a lineup like this get put together in EBL, so.
I don't know. I'm starting to really wonder about Sal, because it seems like every team he ever goes on just cannot make the playoffs, no matter how good they are around him. I mean, I'll admit he's been on some bad teams where it was like I can totally understand that he had no hope of making the playoffs, but it just seems like, I mean, even him leaving Denver and somehow Denver's better.
So what you're saying, Hajj, is you've translated your Francisco Page hate to Salvatore.
Yes, I think my Page hate has fully gone to Sal, because I had a deep-seated something in the back of my mind about Sal that always bothered me, but I ignored it because he has such great numbers. But now it's just, I don't know.
I've never liked Sal. I mean, we can go back to pretty much any podcast where I've talked about him, and I've never liked him at all. But this is just another season that kind of proves that. And I think him and Roser together was a really bad mix. I think that they're both just way too dominant. Like they both need the ball too much to work together. So maybe the Roser trade will actually help you get someone in there like Trammell, who is more of a defensive guy.
He does not need the ball much.
So it'll be interesting.
I still like Freeman, so.
I love Brian Freeman. I
think he's lost a little bit, but he's still very good. He's only 29 still too, so.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as he bottoms out at this, that's still pretty solid.
I would agree.
17-11 is nothing, or 16-11.
Is there any other team that we see as like a disappointment you want to give an honorable mention to? Maybe I'm
disappointed Toronto had so many injuries.
Yeah, it's been rough for them.
Because
it's been really
they've
rough.
had like Walzak, Reynolds, Grundy, like everyone's been hurt. Everyone.
No, Walzak's been hurt, and Walzak's been fine. Their injuries have been Reynolds.
He's hurt right now.
Walzak's hurt right now.
Oh yeah, but he's been healthy most of the season. They had Reynolds and Grundy were hurt, and that's just killer for them. They're like the worst team in the league without those two.
Yeah, it's like the best. Maybe not the best, but arguably the best guard duo in the league, and they're gone like the whole year almost.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Steve Harris starting a point guard.
Yeah, Steve, he didn't do that bad, I guess, but
he's still getting 6.6 assists per game somehow.
Yeah,
that's poor.
Better. He's getting about the same numbers as Gary Hamilton right now.
I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, honestly, though, he really is. That's a real number. That's a real.
Juan Johnson is playing all right, so whatever. There, I said it. Juan Johnson's solid.
Transitioning. Oh, I just read the shout box from 2 minutes ago. Denver looking to make a move on a scorer. So there you go.
Yeah, he offered. He asked me about Break, but there's literally nothing on his team that he could trade that would make me interested in giving him Break.
I think literally, if you got every player on his team and didn't have to cut anyone, I still don't know if I would do that trade for Break.
Hey, if you got a scorer and you are interested in Jeff Gregg and Raul Piga, Joe Pills is your man.
Man, the Jeff Gregg.
If you want Wade Jones's max contract, then please, by all means,
come on down. You
also
come down to Colorado City.
Also, much more enticing pieces like Richard Kinnemer and the ever sought after Emmanuel Leclerc. So
you know what they call him? Richard Ratings Kinnemer, because he's got great ratings.
Yeah,
absolutely mediocre to poor production.
No, he brings the ratings. That's what he does. So
I know. Well, he's
been
rotten.
Speaking of appealing trades, their trade deadline is 9 days away, next Wednesday?
Yeah, 9 days away.
The schedule might be a little off because of WrestleMania Sunday. I can't do a sim Sunday, I don't think.
Ooh,
unless I do an afternoon. Unless I do an afternoon sim. That might be, I don't know. I'll have to see about that. But
do a morning sim. Just fuck everything up.
Yeah. It's it's either next Wednesday or next Thursday, the trade deadline. So what do you guys think about the trade deadline? Like, what team needs to make the one move needed to put them over the top? Hajj, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I think Dallas already made a pretty good move. I mean, there was a lack of a second scorer, and that problem is more than solved by adding Roser next to Bauer.
Yes. But it remains to be seen how Bauer and Rosa will work together because they're both like offense dominant, like Tyler said.
But they're both very efficient, so
yes.
That's why
they're both great. But Hajj, who do you think needs to make a move like Dallas just made?
I think if the Spurs made a move to get a wing, I guess Tom Scott had 4 good games if we want to really have hope for that, but they were on Boston, where there was literally like no one else.
Hey, he had a big training camp, Tom Scott, so who knows, might be good now.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll pick another team then, just to be on the safe side. Man, it's hard to pick. I don't know. I feel like all these teams like don't really need to make moves that are in the playoffs, or even low seeds in the playoffs. And anyone out of the playoffs should probably just give up at this point, or has injuries.
Well, you are no fun, Hajj.
Okay. If the Bucks added anyone better than Dustin Slayton, I could see them making like a serious push to make the playoffs and actually having or a power forward.
Yeah, I was about to say.
How are you going to bring up the Bucks' needs without bridging a power forward?
Yeah, yes, really.
If they had any forward, if they had a better forward at power or small,
Dustin Slayton's fine. He's doing decent.
He's not the problem. Ricardo Foran is the problem.
Ricardo Foran is probably the worst starting power forward in the league that's not on Atlanta. So
he is probably the worst starting power forward. But I think if they could trade for a power forward, and they certainly have some assets they can move.
They have 4 firsts.
I'm not saying they need like a great power forward either. I mean,
they can get a great one.
Because they have Gus, they have Dominguez playing amazing off the bench.
This is who I need to offer Omar Thomas to. And
then they have Gilbert Miles is playing very solid as a rookie. Bivens Fever is still running wild all over EBL.
Yeah.
But I mean, if this team actually added like a good power forward, especially one that could play good on defense too, they'd be in the playoffs. I mean, I'd put them in ahead of the 76ers, and maybe even with the way the Bulls have been playing, they could even maybe jump them.
I feel like Bauer made a really smart move to move David Cup to center because I think his point per game in the past 2 seasons has gone up from 17 and almost 20, and his shooting has gone up a whole lot to like 42% now. He's really excelling at center. So like Omar Thomas would be a great move potentially if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So you should like talk to him right now because he's in the chat, Tyler.
Yeah, messaging him now.
I don't know about the contracts would be the problem. He's got really small baby contracts.
Also, Domingo Southard is playing amazing as a 6th man this year. Yes. He's found his calling right there.
He's definitely got it locked up to 6th man of the year. I just don't know it at all.
Unless he starts too much, that potentially could happen.
Yeah. So I think if there's a team that should make a move, I'd say the Bucks should try and make a move for like a good power forward, and they could be a tricky team to deal with like right now. Not just obviously for the future it would help too, but even right now they'd be a pretty tough team to handle.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna talk about a team that needs to make a move is the Knicks.
The Knicks.
Because I know the Knicks are the best team in the East right now, 28-10, and they got the young talent all over the place. But I feel like this team is a legit center away from being the for sure champions this year. They are. I mean, Paulino's one of the best shooting guards in the league already. Moore's been playing amazing. Jones is amazing. Andre Hood's a really solid. Well, he's an okay starter, I guess. But Scott, I think. I don't know, it seems like the Polo type of move to gamble trading Skalski for a potential elite center. And if he does that, I'm not saying he should do that because I think Skalski is going to be really good in the future. But if he would like gamble on that, I think he could lock up like the next 2 or 3 titles if he gets the type of center that fits perfectly for this team. Like, not like an Omar type, a guy who can really rebound and block shots.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like a younger Tyler Herron.
Yes, exactly. If you got a player like that added to this team, the Knicks are winning the title. But is that worth trading Skalski's potential greatness for? That's why Polo's the best GM. He's got to make a decision like that. I have a feeling you won't even consider that. But if I were him, I would.
They're so young. I mean, he can just wait it out. He can still win a title this year with this team.
I don't think so. I think he's too flawed at center. I don't think he's got a shot. I think a team even like Orlando or or the Wizards or the Nets are just going to beat them in the playoffs quickly.
Well, let's hope so. As long as it's the Wizards that do it.
I feel like if you have a chance for a title, you go after it, and you worry. And Skalski might not ever work out. Who knows? And then he looks like a genius.
Probably not. If he's like most big men, he'll probably just be mediocre.
I just think it would be a bold
he'll take
decision.
6 years. Yeah.
It would just be a bold move by.
Yeah, I can see that because their centers do leave a lot to be desired. I mean, Koch. He tried Koch.
He didn't do very well. Skalski didn't do very well.
I mean, I don't know which between the two of them would go.
I'm sure he would probably put in Simbular again at some point.
I think that's his real plan. That's why he's not making a trade. He wants Simbular to be starting.
It'd be the worst scoring player since C.J. Leslie.
Yes. Tyler?
Tyler, we could hear you type. We could hear you typing over there. You can take a break here.
Oh, sorry. What are we? Oh, are we still podcasting? Oh, we're talking. There's an EBL thing going on. Okay, cool.
Trade deadline discussion. What team do you think you should make a move at the trade deadline to put them over the top?
I've actually been looking at this, and I've been trying to figure it out in between my trying to shill out Omar Thomas to everybody.
I know, right? That's how I felt about it.
Yeah, I'm going with the Nets needing a point guard. I don't know what they could trade to get one, or if they could, but if I'm going to talk about something that needs someone to put them over the top, it's the Nets needing a point guard to put them over the top. I'm not sure if they have the pieces to do it. I don't think they do. Maybe someone would bite on Seifert. He's only 24. He's got some potential. Maybe moving for someone a little bit older or something. But they desperately need a point guard there in New Jersey. He's only going to be able to hold together for so long. And Falk is a abysmal point guard in the more recent years.
Yeah.
I'm
going through it. I'm trying to look, because
I agree with you. The Nets, they're a point guard away. Like, these teams feel like they're one move away. Like, the one team that isn't one move away is like the Wizards. I love the way they're set up right now for the playoffs.
Nah, I don't, but fuck Hajj.
You don't?
Thanks for that.
What don't you like about the Wizards for the playoffs?
They have no third string swingman, which has been bothering me.
Well,
if you have any, Ernest Fowler can be moved for a third string swingman. So get
I think
all
everyone in the league knows that by now.
The great Ernest Fowler. I still don't like Christopher Lloyd. Is what it comes down to.
He's playing great though. He's scoring. He's never going to be a great passer, but his turnovers are falling, which is important, and he's shooting amazingly.
I mean, he's shooting good. He's a good scorer. I wouldn't say he's playing amazingly.
I'm saying he's shooting amazingly, not playing amazingly.
Oh well, yeah. He's still got like
Mark Clinton is playing amazingly. I will say that.
Fuck Mark Clinton. That's what I say.
He's playing. I love the way Mark Clinton is playing. I think he's playing like an all-star.
I think he's playing like a piece of shit. Fuck that guy.
Unbiased Tyler comment.
Wow.
As always.
Although the fucking Darius Stock is just he's just tearing everything up. I love Darius Stock.
Yeah. The Beanstalk.
I will say he's probably my favorite player on the Wizards. I just love Darius Stock.
Well, considering you hate all my other players, I guess somebody had to be your favorite.
I like Ashford.
Oh, Ashford, yeah. So you just like the Cavs. Do you like Overlock too?
Tyler, it sounds like you're in pain when you say something positive about the Wizards. Like it pains you to even come out of your mouth.
I don't get like that when I talk about the Kings. Why gotta be like that, man? Why gotta be like that, bro?
Right now,
I just Stone playing more.
Now, I just love the Pacers and the Wizards. I think that is the. Let's segue to that. Right now, if we're going to talk about conference finals predictions, I think that is my favorite for the conference finals right now, and a bit of a shocker. Wizards, Pacers. Those are my two favorite teams in the East right now.
For the are we doing the East? I got next, bro. Let's back off.
Okay, all right.
I got Indiana. I came up with this the other day. I'm trying to remember what it was. I got
the other team? No. Probably
no.
not.
I'd have to like them. It was it was Indiana, Orlando.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Those are my two.
Orlando's an easy pick, but I think MSC is going to panic and make a trade. that could hurt.
That does worry me a little bit. I was thinking,
but I also think he might not make a trade, and that could hurt his team too. So I really don't know what to think.
If he makes a trade, it's going to hurt his team. But if he doesn't make one, that's also going to hurt. So
I feel like whatever he does is the opposite. Like it's going to hurt his team.
He needs to find that middle ground between making a trade and
he needs to make a trade without making any moves.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Bro, just change it without changing it. Just
pop
up off the board. You're doing too much.
I still love his team in the playoffs, but I just feel like this season's been a disappointment. It's going to continue to be a disappointment. That's just what I feel like right now.
All right. I'm going to say I'm going to pick the Knicks because I would never bet against Polo, especially when his team looks really good. Not like last year where his team was clearly still building up. So I'm going to say the Knicks, and they'll probably keep their top seed too. But the other team, I mean, honestly, like, it's hard. Like, I can find reasons for any of the next 5 teams on that list to play the Knicks in the Eastern Finals, including New Orleans still, because they could get hot. But, man, it's hard to pick one of them. And I don't want to pick my own team because then I'm going to sound like an asshole. I'm going to go, I'll say Knicks, and, I'll say Knicks. I'll say Knicks Pacers because I think it'll probably be I'll probably play the Pacers in the second round. I think I'll end up finishing third, hopefully. Knock on wood.
So you're going all chalk here, Hajj. You're going with the 2 best teams in the East right now. That's boring. Very boring.
If I get home court, then I would pick myself over the Pacers. If I finish third.
I think the Knicks are set up for an early playoff exit. I just don't think they're going to last.
Well, I love the Knicks and I love
Polo. I am betting
against playoffs. Never. I'm never going to do it.
I am betting against Polo, so I expect to regret this time in the off season or whatever.
Yeah, once you once you have to pad all of their stats more and
yes.
Remember, it's 50 cents per attribute, so
that's right.
That going forward.
I got money rolling in, so I'll send you a few bucks. I'll
do the West first. Yes, I'll do the West first. I'm gonna pick OKC, Oklahoma City. I think once they're not hurt anymore, that they were playing great before their injury, and I feel like as great as Portland's been playing, and they could still win the division just because of the lead they're going to be able to build up, that I still think OKC is just such a well-rounded team. So I think I'll pick them to make the finals, and then I'll pick Dallas after that trade. I mean, there is certain intrigue about Bauer and Rozier together, but I feel like the other players, I feel like a guy like McDowell and Clay are willing to just give up points more so than some players that just are high volume sort of guys. And Greg Ray is not going to want to score at all. So I'm going to say Dallas and Oklahoma City will
once again
in the next round.
Once again, 2 really brave and daring picks.
Well, what do you want? I think it's going to be the KWO and the Spurs. Definitely high quality favorites.
I'm going to take the Golden State Warriors against the Sacramento Kings. Fuck you guys. Okay. I'm done.
Wow. Click.
Right.
Well, is that your real prediction, Tyler?
One of those teams could make it to the conference finals.
I strongly support the idea that my team will bounce back. Think about it. This is about where I was sitting last season too at this time. So
yeah, but do you have another Eric Beck in you though? I don't think so.
I think I do.
All right.
It's called Omar Thomas, a small forward.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't think so. Omar Thomas is going to be traded by the end of this podcast. Okay?
That's probably true.
All right, my prediction right now I think Portland is as big of a lock for the conference finals right now as it gets because of the way they're playing. I think they're the best team in the league right now. I just don't think. I mean, as long as they keep this up, I think Bonds, like Tyler was saying, with the offense dominant, Yoder and Bonds did not go well together, but Yoder and Whitehurst, they are perfect for each other. And Tassio Vega's gone up 3 points per game with Whitehurst. And he's gone from starting Tom Cabrera to all-star Juan Kuhn. So that's a huge upgrade there, too.
Yes.
Even though Juan Kuhn's still not very good.
Much better than Tom Cabrera.
Yes. That's worth 10 wins right there. And then I think Dallas is the popular pick because they got Rozier now, but I need to see that before I make that prediction.
Yeah.
I think Memphis, surprisingly, they had a huge sim this sim without Riley, and Tansun played great. I think that says a lot about Larry Riley right now. I'm not sure what it says about him, but I know it says a lot about him.
This is worse than Tane's son, apparently.
And Oklahoma City I really like too, but I am going to go with Tyler here. I'm going to pick Golden State to make the Western Conference Finals against Portland. I really like Golden State the way they played this past season before the injuries, and I think the experience is really going to be helpful. The only thing they have to avoid is injuries, but I think they have a great starting five. Their bench is good enough, just good enough for the playoffs, and I think McAvoy's is playing out of his mind. I think he's going to be the key. And their block shots with Juan and Songnu. I really love the job Donor's done here. I think he's going to get Golden State to the Western Conference Finals, his second ever Conference Finals appearance. I think, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he made it with Miami back finals. So, who do you guys have in the finals then out of those picks?
I'm going to say the Knicks. Because, again, I will not pick against Polo. And I'm going to say Oklahoma City so we could get Polo versus Baldwin 27.
That'd be great. That'd be great. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, that would be good.
Tyler, what do you have to say?
Obviously, you're going to pick you or Donor. So that's one of them, for sure.
Right. Well, I'll pick me. Obviously.
Yeah. Kings in the West.
I got Kings Pacers. That's what we're going to do.
Kings Pacers.
Yep, and right. we finally get the epic showdown of the two Buteau lovers in the finals. So
I don't think that's so epic, by the way.
Whoops.
Sorry.
Who can out Buteau the Buteaus?
I got
probably the Pacers because they actually have Buteau. So
fuck you.
Who did I pick again? I picked the Pacers and the Wizards, right, in these finals. I got the.
Yes.
I think that's going to be a grueling 7-game series, but I'm going to take the Pacers because I think they have home court, and they would have home court in that series.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take
games.
I'm going to take Portland because I think Portland's going to go on like a serious, huge playoff run, and I think Portland is going to win the title at this point. I just don't see anybody stopping them. They're 17-2 with that trade. That's ridiculous. 17-2.
Well, I mean, we all knew Whitehurst. Can we just talk about Portland a little bit, just a little bit more? Because this team is ridiculous right now. I mean, I knew I always liked Whitehurst when he was on the Bulls, and I always felt like the Bulls were kind of holding him back a little bit because of the lack of talent really around him. But now that he's on a team with Vega and Yoder, I mean, this team is just shining right now, and they're set up so beautifully with Mars Johnson as the defensive and rebounding anchor. You have Yoder and Vega as the two prime scorers, both who are good on defense, by the way. And this team, it looks like a JB team. I mean, everyone is just set on defense.
And I think Chris Thomas was a really, really good pickup in the offseason, really underrated MLE. Not even an LLE.
No, he signed for day one for the low level somehow. And then Vince Stafford's even playing great as a backup. Shooting guard, small forward.
Well, he always plays way better than he should when you look at
even like Luis Montañez is playing really good as a backup center.
Yeah.
He's just got a great 10-man team right now.
Yeah, this whole team is just set up really, really well. I just props to JB for doing this.
Yeah, it's gonna be so sad when they lose to the Wizards in the finals.
So wrapping this up right now, what do you think is who do you think is a favorite for GM of the year right now? Who would you pick through one half season for GM of the year?
I don't know. Maybe Donor, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
I think
Tyler.
Seth's GM of the year votes are probably out of the system now.
Yeah, Seth was a preseason favorite, but unfortunately, it's not working out.
Yeah, I got three right now. I would go with Donor, Polo, and JB, just for that one move. Quite honestly.
Yeah, I think the two favorites right now are Polo and JB because they built those teams up so good, and I think they're gonna end up with the top 2 seeds. So. And I also look out for Moron, Devonta, and Hajj as sleeper candidates.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually changed all of my starters from last year.
Yeah, no, you did. And you did it.
That's why I mentioned you. You're in my top 5 right now. So
yeah, you're in my top 20.
And I have you in East. I have you in the East Finals too, Hajj. So come on, I'm giving you a lot of props here.
I'm just reminding people that it's usually people don't think I changed my team, but I literally have no starters from last year's starting.
You just admit it. You need the vindication from people, or else your life isn't complete.
It's true. I mean, what else do I have? Moving boxes out of a truck?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
EBL is my life, and that is life of a pirate.
I think that's the way we can end it right there.
Do you want to? Are we? What are we planning on? Like, when are we planning on the next podcast? What are we?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I'm just trying.
One normal one before we need like a really special 20th one. So, and I have to sing soon. So you guys, I'll start warming up the pipes while you guys plan that out.
All right.
I can't.
So I want to do the Around the Horn one, but we need 4 panelists for that, and I will moderate that.
Well, I know we can.
Seth will want to be.
Yeah, Seth would do it, and
Seth and Jerry would be good.
Yeah, Jerry. He's been on the show before.
We could get Koo. I'm just saying.
No.
Seth and Jerry could be on it.
Yeah, if we get Seth and Jerry to be it, that'd be good. Maybe, yeah. Hopefully that'll be like the 20. We could do that maybe next year as a preseason one.
Yeah, that'd be good. I don't know. I really want to get one of these GMs that like are important around the league or like well liked and stuff around the league, and like just refuse to get microphones or something. Like if we could get like a Dub or an MSC or a Polo or a Thug, I think that'd be really
or Baldwin, even any of them.
Yeah. If those guys had any guts, they'd get a microphone and chatter with us.
Or Moron. I just want to talk to Moron. I think that'd be fun. I don't know. It's just me.
Yeah. He'd have his like southern drawl. I'd be like, "Hey there, boys. How about them there Pacers? I love my Luis Rogers."
If I heard that accent, I would fire him on just because of it.
You'd fire him on the spot.
Yes.
That's howdy, y'all.
He would have to hide it on he would have to hide it on the podcast.
DJ White's on the trade block. $20 million. Come pay up, boys.
Wow.
That's as close to singing as you're gonna get.
Why don't
talking?
Why don't we fire Hodge for his Canadian accent? That's what I want to know.
There's no Canadian accent. I'm not like, hey, Boot, how about that there maple syrup caribous?
Wait,
hoser?
Did you just change your voice? Because it sounds the same to me.
Okay, well.
All right, Hodge, why don't you get this singing out of the way if you want to do it?
Let's get this singing out of the way. I think you want to hear me sing. That's what
the last thing I want to hear is anybody sing. But go ahead.
I don't know. I can't remember what I said I was going to sing. I forgot.
All right, well, let's just end it right there.
No, it was that Lion King song. You fucking sang it.
Can you feel the love tonight? Tonight. Yeah, you can turn it off now because that's.
I'm so glad I'm wearing headphones. I can just
take it.
That's not even Celine Dion. I'm surprised he didn't pick a Celine Dion song because she's from Quebec.
How do you pronounce her name?
Celine Dion.
Okay.
Wow. I think everyone has turned it off after Hodge's singing right there. So
or as Moran would say, Celine Dion.
That wasn't even Southern. That was just a higher voice.
I'm secretly from the South. Okay, I admit it.
All right, we're done.
I think we'll see everyone in the off season again for some kind of podcast, and then we'll do the Round the Horn.
We might do a playoff one.
We could. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll schedule something. We'll figure it out.
We might surprise you guys. We'll do the thing and stuff. But that's it for this time. So see you fucking next time.
See ya.
Yeah. Bye, bitches.